I'd like to call the October Urbana Township Trustee meeting to order. Please join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Very good, thank you guys. We're blessed with a beautiful day, so let's have a beautiful meeting, huh? Why not? So we're going to go through our regular set of way we normally do it, and then we do have some guests that would like to speak tonight. We'll go through the approval of the minutes and the financial status reports. First of all, the minutes of the previous meeting have been distributed. Are there any corrections to the minutes of the previous meeting and or financial status?
Mr. Chairman?
Reports?
Just a second, so I marked out that second line on the drafts, on all the things, so I did update that. That was it.
Where you were not
I
happy?
copied it from the August meeting minutes.
Okay.
Other than that, no.
Well, other than that,
Thanks, Sandy.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the minutes with the addition of the questions and answers from residents.
Okay, thank you.
And I'm also going to add, let's go ahead and approve the financial statement as submitted also, please.
Okay, I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the minutes and financial status report.
Go second.
And I second.
Okay. Trustee Corners seconded it. It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes and financial status. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion is carried.
I'm sorry, did Roger second that?
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
No, you're okay. I was informed that Mr. Cassidy might want to speak up early. I know he's got to visit some other townships. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Cassidy, you're more than welcome to have the floor.
You okay to come up there? or-
Yes, sir, please.
Okay.
Come up here and sit if you like.
I prepared talking points because I'm attending all of the local jurisdictional meetings. And I prepared talking points, so I'll stay on task because everybody in the room knows me well enough to know if I don't have talking points, so your dinner might get cold. What I'm here to talk to you about tonight is the 2025 real estate reappraisal here in the county. As some of you may be aware, this is a reappraisal year here in Champaign County, as well as several other counties across the state. What does this mean? This means that each county auditor's office is required to have each parcel in the respective county reappraised by an outside appraisal firm. This is required by the Ohio Revised Code to be completed every 6 years. You'll hear a lot of people say, well, how can that be? My taxes just went up in 2022. And the reason for that is, along with the 6-year reappraisal, the third year, there's a market analysis, market study done, and then your property value is adjusted according to that market study. So that's why in 22, we experienced a 24 to 28% increase depending on what part of the county you lived in. What are the implications of the 2025 reappraisal to my tax bill that I'll receive in February of 2026? We've been informed that the reappraisal is completed, and the first page that I gave you is a map showing all of the jurisdictions in Champaign County. And what we've been informed by this information is that Champaign County will experience significant increases. And these increases, I call in my literature here, unvoted increases. And the reason why I call them unvoted increases is because the reason for these increases is inside millage. All of the jurisdictions that receive inside millage in the county are going to receive a substantial increase that no one approved, no one voted on. It's basically a windfall because Mr. Talibi's house last week was worth $200,000, and this week we have an appraiser that says it's worth $500,000. So because of that fact, the the county jurisdictions are able to stick their hand in our wallet and take a little more of our money. What is inside millage? The term is defined by a limit of 10 mills of valuation per respective district to be shared among the county, townships, municipalities, schools, and some other special districts. Inside millage is problematic because the revenue generated by those mills grow one-to-one with inflation and valuation changes, while other levies, outside or voted levies, have reduction factors and other things applied to them that keep those levies in check, or they're fixed sum levies. The increase in appraisal amounts is going to have a significant effect on inside millage here in the county. Therefore, the residents of Champaign County is going to be burdened by higher monthly mortgage payments. I've heard stories already of people getting letters from their mortgage company saying their house payment in November is going to be $200 higher than it was before, to offset the escrow for next year's taxes and insurance. It's going to have a huge effect on retired folks that only have Social Security's income. You know, if they're paying a mortgage, or even if they're not paying a mortgage, their monthly tax bill is going to become higher. What needs to be done? The state of Ohio legislature has brought forth several bills, and many of those bills were vetoed by our governor. Some of you folks might have seen that in the news. However, a couple of those vetoed bills have been overridden by the legislature, and they're set to become law. And Governor DeWine recently convened a study group that come up with 21 different items that would have some effect on property tax. The problem with that is, the same as the problem with any of the legislation proposed, none of that will take effect and have any effect on the tax bill you're going to get in February. Now, one of my responsibilities as a commissioner, I serve on the State Tax and Finance Committee. We've been looking at this for about a year and a half, and different ways to where we can help with this. One of the things we suggested to the legislature is put a cap on inside millage, limited at inflation, and that's been proposed to the legislature, and there's a couple bills. Bill 335 has some of that language in it, but it's not been passed yet. We fully anticipate that after this tax year, there will be legislation in place that will control the growth of inside millage. Therefore, it won't be a choice down the road. One other thing I want to touch on since I'm here and we'll talk about property taxes is this Citizens for Tax Reform. I think that's a great display of the American spirit and the way things are supposed to work. You know, people have a problem with something, they gather, they come together, and they try to make change. The problem with that I see is the same thing everybody else says. There's been no reasonable solution to how we're going to fund police, fire, EMS, roads, and all those things. So while I think it's a good gesture, and I'm not saying it won't pass. What I'm saying is, unless people all of a sudden are going to say we don't need those services anymore, it's not a viable solution. What can we do locally? I told you a minute ago I serve on the Tax and Finance Committee, and I, along with my fellow commissioners here in the county and my colleagues on the State Tax and Finance Committee, have been looking at this, like I said, for about a year and a half. And there's a lot of different solutions that's been talked about. But one of the more common ones, and there's some other counties doing the same thing that we're considering doing. And I want to be clear with you. The commissioners haven't voted to do what I'm getting ready to tell you. I can share with you for a fact, my vote will be to do this when we vote on this. Both of my colleagues have supported this, but I don't know if something's going to happen between now and the time we vote that may change their mind on this. So I'm not here tonight telling you that we're going to do this. I'm here tonight to tell you that this is what I would vote to do, and I'm hoping that at least one of my other commissioners do that. The second page of your handout that I gave you will show you, if you go to the fourth column from the right, and we'll use Champaign County as an example. Because we're in a reappraisal year, Champaign County's general fund, which collects 2.6 mils of inside millage, if we do nothing, is gonna see an increase of $962,523.64. What I've proposed to the other two commissioners is that the commissioners vote to reduce our millage collected from 2.6 down to 2, which will in essence cancel out all but about 3 or 4% of that increase, and you leave that 3 or 4, whatever the percentage works out to. Karen did this worksheet. You leave a small buffer there for inflation, but 90+% of that you never collect because you're dropping your millage rate. This is a temporary 1-year thing, and if legislation is not passed before the next tax cycle, then we would look at it again next year. But it's our full anticipation that that legislation will be passed that will affect this. We won't even have to look at this next year. Now, the other thing I want to share with you, if you go on down that column, you'll see every entity. There's 28 entities in Champaign County that receive inside millage. Now, the reason why I'm here tonight talking to you folks, and the reason why I visited, I think you guys are number 10 or number 12. The reason why I'm here tonight talking to you is because if the county does this alone and forgoes that $900,000 increase, the average taxpayer will realize the difference of about a cup of coffee a week. So it'll have basically no effect if the county does that alone. And there's the thought process that, well, if the county's the only one that does it, we're kind of foolish to give up $900,000 if our taxpayers aren't going to be, if they're not going to be, there's not going to be an advantage for them. And I recognize that. However, I think that we need to do the right thing. I think the right thing for us is to do what I said earlier. Now, the reason why I'm here tonight is because the only way we can have a substantial effect on the county as a whole is if more than one entity takes action. Now, as I stand here before you tonight, you're a township. You receive the smallest sliver of pie. You know, I went over, before I started any meetings, I went to Columbus and I sit down with Heidi Falk at the Township Association, which I have a great relationship with. I was on the board over there, as you guys know, for a good while. And I laid out for her, just like I am you, what I'm proposing that we do. And my words to her was, if this is going to have any kind of negative effect on any township, I need to know that from you, and I would never propose this to any township in our county. Her concern was that every township in our county has inside millage dedicated to roads. So when Karen did this, she left the road inside millage out of it. The only thing that the figures are pertaining to is your general fund inside millage. And the reason why Heidi was concerned about that was because of the volatility of prices when it comes to road work. She didn't think it was right to take a decrease there. Now, the last thing I want to stress to you is this. Please don't take my word for this and make a decision. What I beg you to do is confer with your fiscal officer, confer with your legal representative, and last but not least, confer with Karen Bailey, the county auditor. And if you can do this, and it's something you want to do, then by all means, I would appreciate you doing it. If you can't do it, I totally understand that. There's no good guy or bad guy in this. I just feel like if you have an opportunity to do it, and you can do it, that's great. And if not, so be it. So that's pretty much my presentation. I'll try to answer any questions if anybody has them.
We could have taped that, just sent it around to everybody and saved you through this whole thing.
It's good for me to
Okay, it's good for you, okay. Is
Yeah.
that right?
Are
Yeah,
you visiting the schools too? Aren't they getting the biggest chunk of money?
they're last on my list. So,
Tim, when, I think you told me this, but I forgot. When do they need to do something?
Karen says she has to certify the collection rates by November 21st. So she has requested to have something the first or second week in November. But again, I would suggest that you talk with her and ask her, because she may be able to take them up till the 21st.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not here to tell you your business. That's not our role, and we don't know your business. We don't know your financial situation. All I'm here for is to share the information with you and the possibility that we may be able to do something to help.
You guys see that Urbana Township's the cheapest place to live at, don't you? So,
Yeah, I think Urbana Township only collects 0.2 mils of inside millage.
I mean, we're the cheapest township on everything.
Yeah,
We don't collect cemetery, we don't do anything.
you guys currently collect 0.2 mils.
Yeah.
And if you forego on all of the increase, we're talking about $20,000. So, but $20,000 is $20,000. So you can best decide whether or not you can do that.
There's a lot to digest there.
There is. And I appreciate your time this evening. And again, whether you decide to do this, whether you can do it or not, is of no consequence. I just felt like you deserve to have the information. So,
I'd just like to say for the record, the example he gave with regards to the valuation of my house was a hypothetical.
it was what?
A hypothetical.
Yeah, it was. It's much higher.
Because we'll be seeing a BMW. I guess.
Yeah, I'm joking. I'm joking. Thank you, everyone.
All right, Tim, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Tim.
Appreciate it.
Very good, very good.
Maybe that they're gonna mean.
What's that?
That they're gonna mean.
Yeah, we can ask that. Sir, I don't have your, if you have something you want to speak
Yeah, I
of.
mean, it's
you're more than
obviously not
welcome.
going to be as important as what Commissioner Cassidy had to say, but, you know, I was just coming out.
Can I just ask you, what is your first name?
Oh, Ryan, sorry, I was going to do cursive and I realized that probably wasn't the best.
And your last name?
Santa Maria.
Okay, Ryan.
Santa Maria.
Yeah, so I believe my colleague Nick Bundren has come up here a handful of times and met with you all. More than anything, I was just at the public information meeting for the solar farm last week, and I talked with someone that had mentioned that people were urged to come out here, so I was kind of expecting a bigger crowd. More than anything, I just wanted to come out and introduce myself, and I wanted to see if anyone was going to be out here to voice their concerns. I'm trying to come out to Champaign County as a whole, more in general, to do outreach and just have on-the-ground conversation. So I don't really have much more than that. I just want to come out and introduce myself to you all, because I think I'm going to be out here a lot more often in the coming months. So
Understand. Very good, sir. Yeah, thank you.
thank you.
Yeah, we were anticipating a little bit as well.
That's what I had heard, and that's why I made it a point to try to come out here. I wanted to hear what anyone had to say. I know I don't live in Champaign County, so I want to let other people speak and just
Sure.
hear their concerns. But
Sure.
it doesn't look like many people were able to
Well,
make it out.
the siting board did a good job that day about giving handouts out, showing the steps.
Yeah.
And some people finally understood that they're in pre-application stage, so there's still gonna be another information meeting yet. So
Yeah.
there's time, this would probably not be the meeting to come voice things, so
Right.
maybe next meeting it'll be a different story, so.
Yeah, well, again, I'm planning on being out here more often in general. I don't think myself have done a good job of really getting out and talking with everyone I can, so I'm trying to be better about that. So I figured I'd just make my way out here and at least sit in on it and see if anyone had anything to say. But
Very good.
I appreciate your
Yeah.
time.
Thanks for coming out.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Okay, on to the next item. We'll now hear the road and maintenance report. I will be the one to update you on that. Current road, ongoing projects. We do have the widening on Dugan Road between 36 and 29. Fillmore Construction has said that they were going to pave last week, but I think the weather was just, maybe they had some other, I was told they had some other projects going on other part of the county, so I'm planning on them to at least get it this week if we do have some drier weather. So the rain yesterday may have held them up a little bit, but that is all they really have to do is the final paving. and then maybe just some grading on the sides to match it. So. Unless anybody else has any other updates on that? Nope. As far as Richard's activities for the month, road trimming was occurring on Dallas Road. We went, Blair and I and Richard trimmed some trees back in there, got some road clearance for the trucks. A lot of shop work going on with blades, sharpening the cleaning out the mowers, the chainsaws, the truck maintenance, and then some mowing. I know it was a dry month, but that was most of it. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, good.
Yeah, that is the road report. Unless you two have any other activities that you are missing on that.
No, he's just got all the snow equipment already.
Yeah, snow equipment, forgot.
He's already got that all on and checked all of it, so it's all ready to go too. So hopefully that's not until next year, but it's ready.
That's a big plus, yeah. Other than that, I don't have any more. We will move on to the zoning and cemetery report. Blair will be one to give that.
Yeah, Sean left the zoning, six different written permits, one variant, or 5 permits, 1 variance. He's also got a couple variance meetings set up for next month for some other signed variances also. And then on the cemetery, I think today we've had the footers dug, and we joined the city and they poured 7 footers for us today. That's it on that.
7 footers. Yeah.
7 footers. Looks great out there.
Very good.
That's it.
Thank you, sir. Right now, I'm going to move on to address any unfinished business from the last meeting. Unfinished instead of old business. I've kind of changed that a little bit. So.
Very
Like
bold.
old business.
Yeah,
Very bold.
yeah. Instead of old, bold, but unfinished. So, hate to say old, but
I have one, old business, come up with I've got 2 signed nuisance complaints for 1230 South Avenue. So I'm gonna enter that on public record, and maybe we can just get Sean to start with letters out to them. So we don't have to make a motion for that or anything else. Do we?
Just refer it to him.
Okay, so public record, they're on, so seeing now, if you want a copy of these, I think that's the way we're gonna start doing it now. So, and then you want a copy, or just if Sean keeps them?
I'll put a copy with the minute.
Okay. And then the last, this is kind of new business, but since we're on complaints, we had a gentleman down Briarwood that was under consideration, he asked if trustees can set up a excessive noise area, noise abatement. I mean, is that something that trustees do, or so it?
You can do a noise ordinance,
So so it can be done as far as that.
yeah, and the sheriff's office require you to have a resolution that sets forth the noise.
Okay,
It's set forth in statute, and then, but they would then enforce it in municipal court. They usually give a kind of a warning, that kind of thing. What kind of excessive noise are they having parties, or is it?
yeah, that's what they've said. They thought that it was excessive noise certain times of the evening. Then also they were saying that when some of the parties there's excessive parking, but where else are they going to park at? It's just during the party hours that there's excessive. So is that something that you can, would you?
Well, it's public parking.
I would recommend, if you guys wanna take something up, we should discuss the noise ordinance. I think that'd be a lot easier to,
Okay,
measure and enforce. City of Urbana has a noise ordinance.
Salem Township has a noise ordinance, they did, and some other.
So there's some samples. The reason I bring that up is there's some samples you could look at and see. One, is it something you want to do? And then 2, you can see what other legislative bodies have done. You can decide whether or not it's something you want to emulate, or if you want to tweak theirs and make it your own.
But you do have model language on these
Yeah,
things.
We do.
for sure.
We do, and, you know, it's unfortunate that usually noise ordinances, kind of like normal time periods. So if you are one where you, work at night and sleep during the day, sometimes that is not really dealt with in noise ordinance because they allow, you know, it's usually after dark or some time throughout the night, and so it may be personal.
Sorry.
Well, that's all right.
I think Salem Township did 11 PM to 7 AM.
Okay.
Yeah.
And again, is that something we should poll the neighborhood or is one complaint enough is one person in the neighborhood enough to start this? I'm asking that. It's a written signed complaint.
Well, I mean, it's a policy decision for you guys to decide if you wanted to have a community discussion on it. You could send it out there, and also you'd be essentially affecting, depending on how you pass the resolution, it would affect the whole township,
Yeah,
not just that
right,
neighborhood.
okay.
So,
So that's how that works. It doesn't end the sign to a particular area then is what we're saying.
generally speaking, everyone that's passed one, it's been for the entire township
Yeah.
or the entire.
And so it's different in a township where, you know, you might have acres between your houses, but of course, because we have township subdivisions, you know, people are gonna be a lot closer in area. So yeah, like City of Urbana, of course, has a citywide noise ordinance, but yeah, it may be that you probably you might not be able to enforce it out in the township.
You can also define the level of tolerable noise based on the zoning area you're in.
Okay.
Whether you're in residential zoning, ag zoning, or whether you're in industrial, for example. There's a factory right there,
Correct.
you know, so, depending.
So I can get you some
Can-
model language and you
Can we do
can,
that? And
you
then-
might wanna, you know, let the, you know, area know if you're going to do that. Cause you wanna publish it at some point anyway, so you might as well do it before and not after. If everybody is gonna be up in arms and doesn't wanna have it,
Okay.
you may just kind of see if people are good with that.
Well, and once again, I mean, you know, democracy, majority rules, is that proper to say, or I mean, it kind of goes into solar, I mean, I guess we're gonna get into that later, but, you know,
It's you guys decide. You're
Yeah,
the legislative
okay,
body.
okay.
Yeah.
It's,
I mean, if you find that it's a particular place in a particular issue, that may not be something you want to
broaden
do
out.
for the whole township, so.
yeah, I'm not sure you could be restricted to just,
You might be able to do
We'll
it
have to
just
look- I have to do
into
a
a
little
certain,
research on
like
that, whether
like
you-
an R1 type of
yeah.
place. You might be able to do it because of the smaller lots
Yeah,
that are involved, but, I know we can do that for parking on certain streets because township roads usually don't allow parking on them, but they do allow parking in subdivisions, and so you can look at those and see if you, want to restrict parking. I think we,
Parking would be
Dealt with
difficult to
that.
enforce.
okay, because this is a subdivision, so I mean, and that's what we
Yeah.
said before, we've had some issues down there before, but we sent a letter and it corrected itself, so.
right,
And now this is just for parties, I mean, we had a couple residents was using it as long-term parking, and
right, and that was.
they corrected it themselves, so we stopped what we were doing, and it was, we finished. I mean, we didn't have to do a sign ordinance or anything, so,
And it's hard to enforce if they're gonna have a party once every year or two,
correct.
you know, and after the fact you go, yeah, we don't want you to have parties anymore. They're like, okay, well, we'll get back to you in a couple of years, so. And,
Well,
it's hard
maybe
to
the-
enforce
maybe
that.
the norm-
It's like garage sales, you know, by the time you wanna enforce a garage sale, it's already done and over with. Unless they have a garage sale that goes on, you know, forever,
It's
so,
having a flea market.
yep.
So
But I'll get you something.
we'll start that and then we'll look at that.
Yep.
Then we can make copies and leave on your guys' desks,
Yeah.
and you guys can take a look at them before the next meeting,
Sure.
if that's okay.
Yeah, and I do have to tell you, I think for think it was Salem Township, they had, I think the sheriff had charged somebody under that, and Mark Feinstein called me and said, is that a thing? Is there an ordinance for noise out in the township? And I'm like, oh yeah, it's based on this code section. And he was like, oh, okay, all right. So, I mean, they don't get that many, so I don't think, I think that at municipal court, people might not get the remedy they want
Okay,
because it's so unusual.
so we do have 3 signed complaints then.
Yeah, okay, that's great, thank you.
That was all I had in old business there, buddy.
I do have one unfinished business now that I thought about it. I don't have that actual form on our website yet, so I'll get that out there and available to anybody that wants to print it off and make it quicker too, so I apologize for that. We'll now move on to the new business, if we have any new business to discuss between us. I do have one, and I just have a record retention schedules that was made from Ruth Rooney back in 2016. All I want to do is just to update some of the language and things with ours, and with the new information that they have on the Ohio History Connection. They have a little bit more updated information. Maybe some stuff that they didn't have in there before, now it may be applicable, might not be, so I'd like to share that with you. Some of that stuff is much more wordy, but also maybe some of it is just more pointed and direct too, so that's the only reason why I wanted to share. And maybe look at updating that retention.
Are you gonna update for RC2?
Yes,
Okay.
RC2, exactly, sorry, I didn't get to that, yep. Appreciate that, thank you. Yeah, the RC2. Any other unfinished business you wanna?
I think, did you have something?
I have some.
Okay,
Well, I was wondering.
well, let's go.
So our assessments for the subdivision lights were from 16 to 25. So Tecumseh Woods has 50 lots that are assessed $588 per lot for their street lights. And Pullins Woods has 29 lots assessed $29.80 for their street lights.
Is that annual?
And Ward Manor has 18 lots assessed at $48 for their street lights. And those are up this year and up for renewal. It's a 10-year period if you assess. I did look at the money that we have in the assessments, and there's enough money in there that we could skip a year and do them next year. I mean, I don't know that it would mean it's gonna save someone $5, $29, $48. I mean, if people's taxes are going up that next year, maybe skipping a year isn't such a bad thing, because I do believe we have enough to pay for just based on what we have not used in the past 10 years. So if you want to continue that this year, then we need to pass a resolution to continue those 3 assessments. So I can write
And
that.
again, did they go up? I mean, what was the previous?
If anybody goes home
No.
on 29, near like the 3,000 block, find an alternate route.
Okay.
Crash block.
Okay, thank you,
Bye,
thank you.
Jim.
Thanks.
No, these are, I was putting them forth as the same
Okay,
because, again, there's excess money in there, and I mean, I guess we could either renew them and look at them again in 10 years and see, or you can lower them if you, to make up the excess funds that we have, which are,
lighting assessments, is that right?
Yeah,
That's
so,
for their street lighting,
yeah,
more or less.
there's a copy of the, resolutions that I drafted, so you can read them. If you wanna continue on.
Usually lighting assessment is based on kind of an estimate of what the amount was. I mean, it hasn't gone up then?
No,
I guess
we,
maybe
like, last year, we
LEDs.
collected more than what we spent. And so I asked Karen Bailey about it, and she said, well, you can, skip a year and get rid of that money, you know, you may have a little bit excess, but we have enough to skip a year on them, or.
Do you have a contract with, I keep thinking AEP, but it probably isn't who you have.
It's Pioneer, isn't it?
Yeah,
Pioneer.
Do you have
Yeah,
a contract
Pioneer.
with Pioneer?
I don't
on that,
know,
or is it just-
not that I know
It's
of.
just
I
a
mean,
portion of what you,
this is my first time doing them, so
Okay.
I just know what Karen told me about it, and she said, you know, you can keep it going, you can lower your assessment by a little bit, or, you can, if you remain, then you can relook at it in 10 years, and maybe you'll be able to say, well, we're gonna skip 2 years, or we're gonna cut it in half. So, I mean, if you guys wanna look at these, and I believe that they need the assessments though, in sometime in November. So, I think it's something that we have to make a decision on.
The only thing bad is, some of the things that they were talking about, if things go in, electricity prices go up, I mean, that's the only thing that,
Well, that's true, I mean, you could, I don't know if you then could, if they did go up, if they could, you could reassess maybe.
or just keep it the way it is and use it as a cushion if prices do go up.
It's not that much money, but it is
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah, you're not talking about money.
Like, I don't know where the fund report is, but it'll tell you what's in the yeah, the special assessments have $4,300, so we pay a year behind. Yeah, you know, it's usually like $1,800, so there's actually probably enough for a couple years.
Yeah, because it's surprising how much electricity's went up just this year, so for a year behind. And we went from about 14.3 cents a kilowatt to 19.
Well, maybe that's best then to leave it, if we've gone up and we haven't really seen what the new bill will be, because we won't get billed until next year. If we leave it alone, maybe it'll go cost more over 10 years, and it'll take up some of that excess money.
could you ask Pioneer what their estimate is
And
for
that's
next
an-
year?
That's an idea.
Cause you have till probably next meeting, then
Yeah,
you can see what you got.
okay.
Table that.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Let's get Pioneer's talk.
So who was gonna reach out to Pioneer?
I can. if you
Okay.
want. You want to do it? Roger likes
I gotta
that.
be out there tomorrow.
Okay, Roger. He is a good spokesman. He does.
I can give you a copy of the bill, and that way you'll have the account, cause it's a separate account for each subdivision.
And the reason being, just like, there's only two lights on Owens Woods. So, for Briarwood is,
There's 8,
Eight.
I think.
yeah.
Okay. Guess we'll bring that up next month in unfinished business.
So you need to find what their estimated costs for, not only this year, because we're billed a year behind, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we need to know what their cost was this year. and what their-
I'll
Okay.
get that, I'll pull
Okay.
that bill and give it to him.
I'm sorry, Steve.
I got that in like June, we get billed once a year.
We did see anything else?
No.
Table that one.
Anybody else have any new business to speak of?
We'd like to discuss with you a legal matter in executive session when you guys are done with the rest of your
Okay.
open session business.
Okay.
Anything cyber wise?
The cybersecurity
Yeah.
policy. I'm working on that. It's due to be passed by June of next year, so,
Okay.
I've got that, on my plate.
I get
It's still kind of on the top,
So
hasn't yet.
that's not something, the cyber didn't have to be taken care of this meeting then?
So,
No.
so-
No, they at first thought that it was gonna be due right after September 30th, and then they said, well, no, everybody, gets to look at it and it'll be done by June of next year.
I don't know if you saw that, or if that's gonna be in the cybersecurity policy, but, we have to like make our websites, ADA compliant. Have you seen that?
But I know that, that's in another portion, and so I'm not sure when the time frame is to do that. I don't know if that was in cybersecurity.
It's next year sometime, but I was looking at it to see if it applied to small, but I like that, then we're probably gonna have to hire a service that's gonna cost a lot more money than what we pay for our website, or take all of our forms off of there, because, I mean, I don't really understand that, like, why they're making this widespread. I mean, I would think if someone has a problem with your website, that they can't hear or see something, that they would contact you, but it's gonna cost a lot of money
Yeah,
to do these things.
the county's still looking at that as well, so I'll let you know when we
Okay,
get something, because I think they're trying to do it.
It's a new thing. It's a
Yeah.
new thing with web designs. It applies not just to government, but also applies to the private sector in terms of companies and having to be ADA compliant. And everybody's wrestling with it. So it's in flux. There are some things you can do. But yes, what's available that I've seen right now is more expensive.
yeah,
And it does end up having, it's not something you just install and be done with it. You have to actually, what I saw, you actually have to pay a service.
yeah, that's what I thought too. Like, it's not like you're gonna be able to maintain your own little site, now you're gonna have to pay these fees. You know, we pay like $300 every 2 or 3 years.
There's been some talk about perhaps there's a button that can be clicked on and a preset recording comes on and says, if you have a disability that makes this site difficult for you to use, and then gives them an alternative, call this number or contact these folks.
Oh, that would be nice.
But it doesn't necessarily work for everybody's disability, depending on the type of, I mean, you can cover a big group of people, but it's not, for everybody, so.
Yeah,
It's being wrestled with.
I think it's not till next year, but it concerned me when I saw that.
I have a meeting coming up, the Ohio Prosecuting Attorneys Association, and I'll bring it up and see what other counties are doing, other prosecutors are advising their clients in other counties, and see if anyone's wrestling with this issue yet.
Great. Thank you. Anybody else on that information? Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I'm gonna go ahead and, before we talk about this, I'm gonna go ahead and move that, allow Sandy to go ahead and pay and disperse bills.
Have a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
The motion is carried. Are there any announcements? Anybody have any announcements to bring up? I do have one. November 17th is our next meeting, 2025, so I'm gonna keep you that information. Moving right along. Okay, move to public comment. Looks like we got Mr. Evelsizer here. Mr. Evelsizer?
Yes.
The floor is yours, sir.
Thank you. I wanted to bring up about safety concerns again at the cemetery. Aside from here just recently leaving an open monument for over 2 weeks where people could have fallen into it. Now what we have going on is for the past couple of weeks, there are approximately 24 steel stakes sticking up out of the ground. These are just a terrible hazard, a risk management issue, let alone just plain common sense. You know, none of us want to see someone that walks through the cemetery, stumble, trip, fall, get impaled by these steel stakes. I'll provide, here are some safety concerns that these things can be purchased very, very inexpensively to put on top of the stakes to keep people from being impaled. And it wouldn't take very long at all to do this, you know, especially when we have a cemetery employee or a township trustee that's just, you know, sitting on a headstone watching others work. You know, Roger or someone could walk around and put these safety guards in place. Also, I was concerned, what was the results of the mold remediation here in this meeting room?
Mold remediation, only, I know you brought that up last month, Mr. Eaglesizer, about the mold on the ceiling tiles, so we took it that. We did a lot of coating of the upper roof steel section and the bolts. So I coated that 3 or 4 times, so we got the leak to stop, or the potential leak. So a lot of bolts and things had some rust on them and all that kind of thing, so we coated them up. Looked pretty good, reconfirmed 2 or 3 times, and replaced those ceiling tiles there to help that situation. So we're in much better.
So was there any other remediation company that came in to address it, especially since the proximity to the fresh air vents and the circulation?
Yeah, no,
in
no,
this
sir.
meeting room?
There was no remediation facility or company.
And my final item would be that since this is during normal business hours for the township, I would like to view the zoning board minutes for the previous 4 meetings.
Oh, yeah, if we can get those, is it tonight, or when
Please
would you
forgive
like,
me.
when would you like them, sir?
If I could now, please.
Do we have them available? I don't know.
Which
Or at the
board-
end of
which
your meeting,
board?
you know, I don't mind, I'm
Which
not trying to
board?
interrupt the
Zoning
meeting, but at
board?
the end of the meeting.
Oh, the zoning board?
Which board?
You talking zoning board?
Yeah, the zoning board,
Which board of zoning? Board of Zoning Appeals or the zoning commission?
the zoning commission.
Well, I know Sean didn't attend tonight, so he could probably get that maybe tomorrow. I don't know. Is it?
Are they not here?
I know where he keeps them, honestly. But
I don't have anything.
yeah, I don't know where to get them, honestly. Zoning commission.
So it's safe to assume they're not in this building?
I don't know, sure, to be honest with you. That's something we can ask Sean to get with him on that. Yeah. Anything else? You guys have anything on that? Nope. Okay, thanks, sir.
Thank you.
All right.
So will you get with Sean to get?
Yeah, I'll
that
have to
with
give it
him?
Sean
Okay.
to get Mr. Eaglesizer that information. Mr. Eaglesizer, you said the last 4 meetings of the zoning commission.
Yes, sir.
Just want to make sure. I want to try to get that answered.
They might have met 4 times in 4 years.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
They just don't meet very often.
Who is the secretary of the?
Mark Randall,
Mark Randall, okay.
and, you know, Mark,
I would think that would be who would have.
yeah.
Mark Randall.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't think he was at the last meeting though.
Nope.
I didn't pay.
Yeah, that's true.
Because they have
But I
to
don't
give,
know who did it.
they took it, so Sean was taking it, Shawnee and Danny Rooney both took minutes
Oh, okay,
to give to Mark to.
okay.
Good question.
Okay,
Okay, very good. I'm gonna entertain a motion to go into executive session.
Under 121.22 G3.
121.22. G3. Thank you. Appreciate
So I move that we move to executive session.
Second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
The motion is carried. At this time, the board will now go into executive session to discuss, more or less, legal matter.
And we're, I guess you're
Everybody.
inviting us in.
Yes,
Good.
we've asked you to, a legal matter. As this will conclude the public portion of our meeting, no further business will follow the executive session, so we'll ask everyone who is not part of the executive session to please leave at this time. Thank you for attending.